It's Andrew Shanks here for creativecow.net and completing our quick series of tutorials on DB keying. I will be just quickly running through two techniques for adding light wrap and edge blending, which can help just mesh your character better into an environment. So I'm going to really race through this quickly because I'm short on time. So what I've done is I've already created the finished comp, and we'll just run through exactly what I'm doing each step. So the first thing I do is light wrap. So we have a look in here. It's DV, it is fuzzy, so bear with me. So if we have a look, that's how our key was before with the spill suppression, etc. Now I've added some light wrap here. And the way to add light wrap is basically you take a plug off our key, off our mat, blur it, invert it, and then multiply it back with the key. What this does is it gives us a hard edge around the outside, so it won't bleed out into the background image, but it allows you to blur inwards, and by adjusting your blur here you can adjust how much that light wrap will come in, so how much your background colours will end up influencing the final comp. So we'll just leave it somewhere in there. I've put a move in here, which is basically just the same move we had over here to move our critter down into this position. If I didn't put the move in there, then our light wrap would be sort of up in here, which wouldn't do. So the next thing is, we've got this nice blurry mat. What do we do with it? What we do is multiply it with our background. Now what I've done is I've blurred out our background because we don't really want it to be all sharp. If it was sharp like that, it would just look pretty bad. So we're just blurring it off. We just want the colours to smear into our background. And I'll put a fade in here, which just allows me to adjust the level up and down. So if we come down here, I've basically screened this over the top of our finished comp. So there's our comp. We come down here and I've screened the light over the top. So if I ramp this up and down, that's it with nothing on, that's it with it fully on. You can see it's smearing in there. In bright scenes it can really help to have a bit of light wrap. So that's the first technique. And the second one, which is going to be really subtle to see, so what I'll probably do is actually just fade this right out so we're not seeing this in there, is edge blur. And what edge blur does is, probably down by his feet is probably the best place to see it. Okay. You can see it's just doing a little bit of blurring in around here. And what it does is it's blurring the junction between the foreground and the background. So it's actually blurring both foreground and background together, smearing them together a little, just subtly, just so that it can just help make your composites blend. This shot is pretty fuzzy on the edges, just being DB in the way it was shot, so it's not really helping too much, but you will note that it does help on a lot of shots. So yeah, so it's well worth trying if you're trying to integrate a shot. So in order to do that, what you do is you go back up to your mat, and what you could do is you could use an edge detect, but a quicker, I prefer to do sort of a quick manual way, which is come down here and I've expanded it out, the mat out, so that it's nice and black and white. There's no grayscale whatsoever. Then down here I've done two blurs. Now the blurs have to be different. They can't be the same, or else this won't work. The second blur, I don't actually think I have got a small amount of blur in there. So if you then XOR them together, you end up with this difference, and you'll see if I change the value of the blur, it changes the width of that line. So then I've added again that move that we duplicated from our original critter, just to move our matte down a little bit. And then down here, basically we've taken our critter, done a blur, but in the matte channel we've plugged in this edge matte, this shape, so it will only blur where the white outline is. So yeah, and then you just basically just control the amount of blur that you want in here. Again, you don't really want too much, you just want to be quite subtle with it, and it will depend on the shot. But you know, you could go really insane like that, and that's just nuts. But yeah, really it doesn't need too much. And the other thing to look at is sometimes with that blurring, you will end up needing to put some noise back into that because it'll look too smooth compared to the surrounding image, in which case you just take basically just add grain or noise onto there and take the matte from here, just again, so you're just applying that noise back into this region, this edge region. Yeah, so yeah, if I turn that back into there, back to 3. That's our finished sunburnt cow on the beach. Yeah, that's about it. I'm Andrew Shanks for CreativeCow.net.